Hello and welcome back to SOMAtalks, a space where body and mind meet. This is also a space where we slow down and we start to feel what we are talking about. Today we are talking about manifestations, because they are everywhere right now. Manifesting love, manifesting abundance, manifesting your dream body, dream job, dream life. For some people, manifestation feels empowering. But for others, it might feel frustrating or even shaming, like, if it didn't happen, I must not have believed hard enough. And that's where a lot of people quietly burn out or feel guilty. So today we're not talking about manifestation as something magical, and we are rather bringing it back to the body, to the brain, and the lived reality. Because when you strip away the spiritualized language, manifestation is really about something very human. How intention, attention, emotion, nervous system state, and behavior shape outcomes over time. And when you understand that, manifestation becomes less about control and more about capacity. So let's start here. What manifestation actually is. Nothing appears out of air. From a psychological perspective, manifestation is about direction. It's the process of choosing something, of orienting toward it repeatedly, and behaving in ways that make it more likely to happen. In psychology, this is called goal-directed behavior. In neuroscience, it's selective attention and predictive processing. In somatic work, it's embodied alignment. So different languages, but same mechanism. When people say, I manifested this, what usually happened is they noticed something more. They stayed engaged a bit longer than usually. They tolerated discomfort for longer, and they adapted instead of giving up. Not because the universe delivered it, but because their system reorganized around it. Manifestation isn't really mystical. It's a clear direction with a lot of repetition and action. Also, what is important in manifestation is our focus. When we focus all our energy on something, it is more likely to happen because we act upon it very clearly, very accurately, and this is how we achieve our goals. And now let's take a look how attention shapes experience. Your brain is literally filtering reality constantly. Right now, you are maybe not aware of every sound in the room where you are, your breathing rhythm, or the slight pressure of your clothes on your body. These are very little things that mindfulness treats a lot about them. And until I mention it, you don't realize it all. That's because your brain decides what matters. One system involved in this is the activating system called RAS, and it helps your brain filter information, prioritize relevance, and orient attention. This is why when you start thinking about buying a certain car, for example, you suddenly see that car everywhere. The car didn't multiply, just your attention changed. When you set a clear intention, your brain does it. Your brain flags relevant information much faster. It also recognizes patterns sooner and allocates energy toward aligned choices. And research on goal setting shows that clear, meaningful goals increase your motivation, your persistence, problem solving, and the follow through. So manifestation works through attention, not magic. What you repeatedly do and what you focus on becomes more real to your nervous system and therefore easier to act on. What is the role of belief, emotion, and the nervous system in manifestations? Basically, here's where manifestation conversations often miss the mark. They talk about belief without talking about the nervous system. Before we start to dive deep into this topic, let's make it clear. Belief isn't just a thought. It's a felt expectation in your body. It's an experience. If your body is chronically anxious, overwhelmed, or shut down, or maybe bracing for disappointment, it becomes much harder to, for example, take risks or imagine positive outcomes. or be resilient, come back to balance, stay consistent, or receive good things when they happen, etc. There are many, many examples, and this is why affirmations often backfire. If you say, I am abundant, but your body feels unsafe, tight, or ashamed, your nervous system doesn't believe it. And resistance shows up as procrastination, self-sabotage, exhaustion, burnt out, giving up right before momentum builds. So this is all what happens when we try to manifest something hard, but deep inside we don't really believe in it. And when our actions result from negative feelings such as fear. Psychology calls this self-efficacy, your belief that you can influence outcomes. Decades of research show that self-efficacy predicts success more reliably than optimism or positive thinking alone. Because your nervous system really needs enough safety to act, enough regulation to stay engaged, enough flexibility to adapt when things don't go as planned. And if you lack those things, what will happen is you might achieve results contrary to what you really want. Remember that real manifestation feels grounded, it feels true, not forced. It's expansive but not panicked. And why positive thinking alone doesn't work? Let's talk about toxic positivity for a moment. Research shows that suppressing emotions like fear, doubt, or anger actually increases psychological stress. It raises cortisol and creates internal tension. So it doesn't really work. When manifestation culture says, just stay high vibe, don't focus on negativity, don't doubt, it's not true. What often happens is emotional disconnection, not empowerment. Psychologist Gabrielle Oettingen studied this very extensively, and her research on mental contrasting found that imagining success alone reduces effort, but imagining success plus acknowledging obstacles increases follow-through. In other words, hope without realism leads to collapse. Hope with honesty creates movement. Manifestation works when you include doubt, fear, frustration, grief, hesitations, and so on, not as failures, but just as information. Since SOMAtalks is not only about mind but also body, let's come back to this part, the body's role in what you allow. Your body plays a massive role in what you pursue and what you unconsciously avoid. When your body is regulated, you communicate more clearly, more peacefully, you tolerate uncertainty much better, you recover faster from rejection, and this is also linked to our resilience, and you stay engaged longer. Examples are even more multiplied and diverse, but what is important is the contrary. When your body is dysregulated, what happens then? Everything feels very urgent or impossible. Neutral feedback feels very personal, and rest feels very unsafe. So basically, you are in this loop of negative thoughts, constant tiredness that might eventually lead to burnt out. This is why somatic practices support manifestation better than visualization alone. Things like grounding, for example, through breathwork, meditation, maybe gentle movement, orienting to safety, so really establishing your safe places where you really can allow yourself to vulnerabilities and to doubts, or maybe also intentional rest, so basically consciously recharging your energy. All these things don't raise your vibration, but they increase your capacity. And capacity is what allows intention to turn into action. Manifestation happens when the body supports the direction of the mind. And this is really a perfect sentence for SOMAtalks, because here is the space where we talk about why aligning body and mind is so important for us. Now let me lead you through a grounded manifestation framework. Here is a very realistic, science-based way to work with manifestation. Firstly, clarify intention. You can ask, what matters the most right now? Keep it very specific and values-based. It's basically like choosing the target of your manifestation. Then, go back to your body. Check how you feel and Maybe you are constricting something, maybe something feels overwhelming, maybe you feel rather steady and peaceful, maybe something feels exciting to you. Check it out and name it. Thirdly, build nervous system capacity. For example, regulation supports consistency more than motivation. And this is very important to keep your nervous system very agile and resilient. Then, take small aligned actions. So basically, start acting. Behavior changes outcomes, even imperfect behavior. Then adapt instead of judging. Feedback is information, not failure. Your emotions are information, not weaknesses. This is very important. It's like observing instead of judging. And the last point is release the rigid timelines, release the deadlines, just reject them. Flexibility sustains momentum. So when you think about deadline or a certain strict date until when you should have something already achieved, it only fuels your pressure and it takes away your peace of mind and the feeling of safety that is necessary for effective manifestations. And again, manifestation isn't about control. It's about a relationship with yourself, with your body, and with reality. Before we finish this episode, let's conclude that manifestation isn't about bending reality to your will, but it's about becoming someone who can meet opportunities, tolerate uncertainty, and stay engaged with life as it unfolds at the same time. So it's actually the capacity of making your dreams come true. You shape your life through what you focus on, how you regulate, what you practice, with whom you are, what you allow yourself to receive, and so on. When intention meets embodiment, life responds, not magically, but meaningfully. Remember that, and thank you for being here with me today. I hope that you got some inspiration for your own manifestations. Let me know how it works for you, and until next time. SOMAtalks, Agata Daras.